Hi guys.
Oh my gosh, Claire makes Kristen cry on camera.
Clickbait. Also, doesn't take much. So.
Let the record show.
Let the record show. Doesn't take much.
Hi, welcome to the Midnight Memo. I'm Claire.
And I'm Kristen.
And thank you so much for joining us.
I still can't believe that you supposedly told me that you cried when you watched The Last of Us episode 3. And I don't recall this conversation. So I watched that unhinged with no warning. Apparently you warned me, but I just don't remember the conversation at all.
Listen.
And I cried so, like, genuinely my face was so swollen when I tried to put like ice on it and everything in the morning, could not depuff it. It finally started to like unswell when I got back from work the next I'm so serious. It literally
such a deep cry.
It was such a deep cry. Like my eyes literally looked like they were pea stung. And then even underneath, like, I'm Asian, I got rice eyes, but like it was like my 50% white had nothing to save
I feel
these
like you
eyes.
don't have that thin of eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks. It's definitely prominent when I smile. Like then all the genes, like, you can't see my eyes and it's really unfortunate. But I think normally I'm very ethnically ambiguous. Mm-hmm. But my smile, it's like, oh, she's Asian.
No, I have like not the regular dimples. I have the Asian dimples. So when I smile too hard, you can see them right here.
Me too. Yeah. I think yours are definitely more prominent than mine. But I have it, and it just makes my eyes small. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so guys, if you haven't watched The Last of Us, please watch it.
Oh, it's so good.
Coming from a girl who honestly had zero interest in watching it in the first place, because I was like, listen, it's a video game.
I didn't have enough context to like feel one way or the other until you told me about it.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was until my boyfriend was like, oh, it's based on a video game. I'm like, I don't want to watch
That's how you
TV.
Turns you off?
Yeah.
When you hear that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not really interested in that, but like, whatever. But he kept saying like, oh, no, it's so, like, everyone's saying it's really, really good. Like, we have to watch it. What's crazy is that like, I was so emotional.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't really care about people in TV shows. Like, I'll cry if I'm the type of person who cries when animals get hurt in TV shows or movies. But like when people get hurt, I'm like kind of indifferent. I'm like,
you had it coming.
But the episode 3 of The Last of Us was so like emotional and so beautiful. And what sucks is that like apparently it should have been like the highest rated episode of the whole show, but a bunch of conservatives like spammed the rating, so it like dropped the rating of that episode. But it's so beautiful, guys. Like it's so good.
Oh my god.
And I did warn you.
I really, this is why we can't have conversations about good TV shows while I'm drinking a tower beer.
Yeah.
I'm not an alcoholic. It's just, there were bigger,
we were talking it all by herself.
We were talking about this while we were at a basketball, like,
viewing
party. We're like drinking, we're watching basketball, and then
I was eating Junior Mints out of my purse.
And a protein bar, and a jug of water that she stole from. It was a whole bunch of things. But yeah, it was a mention in like a lot of other conversations while we were at a viewing party. It did not hold context in my brain the way it should have. The fact that Claire said that she cried, and
Yeah. Anyway, the whole show is really, really good. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. Mm-hmm. I bet everyone has already seen it anyway, because I've been raving about it for like the last a month that it's been out.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Should we also acknowledge the elephant in the room of our new scenery today?
Oh yeah, guys, if you've been watching our videos or have been following our video YouTube things for the last however long we've been doing it.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
That English was spectacular. Our background and recording environment looks a little different, and you may be wondering why. 1, it's daytime. It just happened. 2, we're sitting on the floor in front of Kristen's entertainment center.
Yeah.
Because the blackout curtains
are not blacking out.
Are not blackout curtains.
That's fair. Anyway. Oh, also something. Since we're on the floor and comfiness, there's something I've been wanting to give you for like 3 weeks now, for like the last 3 episodes. And Gav keeps asking me. My partner keeps asking me. He's like, "Hey, did you give Claire that thing?" And I'm like, "No, fuck." So let me go get it. Please hold.
Okay.
Okay, you can open them.
No way! They're so cute.
So I went to Costco and I found these Squishmallows, and I saw this one of a Highland cow.
It's so cute.
And I was like, this is perfect for Claire.
Yes.
So I got Claire her own Squishmallow for today's episode, and I have a really cute dog.
Cute.
So these are going to be our emotional support
squishes
for today, I think.
Oh, thank you. I love him. Speaking of having no support, high school teachers. Just kidding.
Claire was
all
her
teachers.
Yeah, great segue. Yeah,
I'd like a disclaimer that, Bud, you're a great teacher.
Her partner is a teacher, and she decided this topic.
Yes, but there are historically, at least for me, and probably for you as well, and a lot of other people, there are teachers that we remember because they were bad teachers, not because they were good teachers. And I know that we did like a while back, one of our very first episodes, we were kind of talking about the whole school system and like a couple of examples of teachers that we didn't like. But there are like some examples of teachers that are just, looking back on it, so horrifying.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to be a teacher.
You did?
Yeah, I set myself up for a while to be a teacher. Like,
That's crazy.
I was a teaching aide for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I was basically my brother's in-school teacher. But I think that's more of an oldest sibling thing. But I did, like, help my brother with all his homework. I was his tutor, and I tutored, like, a few friends, and I was really into that. And I was thinking about it, like, in middle school when I was doing my teaching aide. I spent basically, like, a third of the year being a teaching aide for 3 years. And I really thought about it. And then my dad was like, do you know how much they make? And I was like, no. And he's like, they don't make much. And I was like, okay, crush my dream. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. But no, I had no desire, still have no desire to teach in any capacity.
I think about it sometimes. I'm like, in my alternate reality, my multiverse personality, I think I'm a teacher somewhere. I don't think I'm a good one. I wouldn't classify that I hope so. I hope she's doing fantastic as a teacher. I don't have high hopes for her.
No, I would be the worst teacher. The thing is that I have a deep-rooted fear of leading people astray. Yeah, I have a huge fear of, like, teaching them the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then my theory is I will teach them the wrong thing. They'll never get corrected. Then they'll end up on the streets homeless. It's just a very big jump, but that's my fear.
Yeah, this is obviously a logical train of thought.
Yeah. And that's like...
Not like the iCarly episode where she teaches him about, was it dwarf or doof something? She teaches him, like, a made-up number. So it's like 7, whatever the made-up number is, 8. And so throws off the kid's math on everything by 1. And it was a whole thing.
Oh.
So is that what you think you would do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not on purpose.
But yeah, exactly.
It would just happen naturally. I'd be like, no.
I just naturally teach them the wrong numbers.
I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to be a bad teacher.
Yeah.
But I've had bad teachers.
Yeah, tell me about it.
There's actually starting very, very young in my formative years, 2nd grade.
Okay.
My 2nd grade teacher treated me so terribly.
My 2nd grade teacher was the best.
Really?
Yeah. She's the one that I was her teacher aide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice. But anyways, let's talk about your really bad 2nd grade teacher.
Well, my 2nd grade teacher, she did not like my mom. Like, her and my mom didn't get along.
Not a hot take for the 2nd grade age, I feel like.
Not a hot take, but I didn't like, she was like having everyone try it.
Okay,
and like, I didn't want to try it because I was like, sorry, I don't like tomatoes.
Okay, so did she decide she doesn't like you after, I'm assuming, the first time she meets your mom, which is probably at, like, some parent-teacher conference?
Yeah.
Okay, but before the parent-teacher conference, no issues.
I
can't remember.
I don't really recall.
Fair.
But I think it had to do with, like, the way our school kind of system worked from what I remember is that, like, the summer before you get your teacher assignments.
Yeah.
And then I think the parents get to, like, and you get to meet the teacher before the year starts.
Yeah, I do remember those, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what happened. And
she just picks your mom out of the crowd and is like, this bitch, don't like her.
Yeah, basically. She's
That's
like, I don't
so
like
wild.
your mom. But instead, because my mom's obviously working, not at school, she decided to take her dislike out on me.
Yeah.
And so she would, like, I would get in trouble all the time. And listen, like, I was a really good student.
Yeah.
And I was just silent. I did my work because I was, like, an overachiever. And so I, like, wanted to, like, make sure that I was doing everything correctly. And, like, she would yell at me in class for, like, speaking to someone. But, like, those people were talking to me and I, like, wasn't saying
Like, you told them,
anything.
like, shut up and then you get in trouble.
Yeah,
that
type of thing. There was this one time we had, like, this, like, little nature section of our class where we got to, like, plant, like, veggies and fruits and stuff. Yeah. And when I was young, I didn't like tomatoes. And she, like, publicly shamed me in front of the whole class.
No.
Started yelling at me for not trying it. And
she yelled at you?
Yeah,
like, dead ass?
Dead ass.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And so I ended up trying it because... so I was traumatized.
I mean, that's a trauma.
Yeah.
That's a trauma.
At, like, a young age. And, like,
Yeah.
she would just have, like, these kind of, like, microaggression behaviors towards me throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
And there was one... we had this one section in class where we got to go out and, like, get exercise. And to keep track of, like, how many laps we ran, we got to, like, color in a shoe. Or, like, a picture of a shoe.
Sure, right.
And I colored mine, like, all rainbow, and I was, like, super excited to, like, hang it up. And she got mad at me, and she was like, why would you use that many colors? You're not allowed to use that many colors. Like,
what the fuck?
And everyone else's were just, like, tie-dye, and I'm like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong.
Like, what's different?
Yeah. I was like, I just made the laces rainbow.
Yeah,
like, what? She was, like, going after a 2nd grader.
Dude, some teachers have power trips, too.
Yeah.
My 5th grade teacher was like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when I was in the 5th grade, my dad would help me with my math homework because he's just the math one in our family. And he decided to teach me, like, I don't know if you remember or if you had it when you were in elementary school, we had, like, problem solvers. And so, like, you would have to learn math. Like, they would give you different strategies of how to learn math. And, like, each problem, when you get, like, a daily problem, you would have to solve it. The intention was to solve it in one of the given strategies. And I think it's also for people who have kids that, like, sometimes you go back to your kid's homework and you're like, what the fuck is this? Change math.
Yeah.
I feel like something like that probably happened to my dad because he's an older parent.
Yeah.
So he was like, he decided to teach me a very simplified version of algebra, essentially.
Yeah.
In the 5th grade because I got it and that made sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Do my math, whatever. Comes to parent-teacher conference. Also, okay, my 5th grade teacher was a brand new teacher. So she had never been a teacher.
Yeah.
Exactly. She had never been a teacher before. And at my elementary school, usually you're supposed to get the same teacher for 2 years in a row. But my 4th grade teacher was became pregnant and decided she wanted to take the next year off.
Yeah.
Fair. So they bring in a new teacher, new hire. My 5th grade teacher is a brand new teacher.
Right.
And usually my mom, the sweet lady that she is, and I think very stereotypically, would come to my parent-teacher thingies.
Yeah.
But this time, I don't remember what the reason was, but my father had to come instead.
Yeah.
This poor woman who was 5 foot nothing on a good day, but had the personality of what she thought was a 6'5" man like my father is.
Yeah.
And so she sits my dad down, and okay, I was a great student, but I was a terrible kid. I will admit, in elementary school, I would like skip classes, but we don't need to get into that. That's a side tangent. But
Kristen was a rebel. She had multiple boyfriends.
I hated school in elementary. I was a terrible kid in elementary school. I would skip class constantly. I would go to the nurse's office just because I didn't want to be in class, and I'd be like, I have asthma. And she's like, that's not how it works.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, she knew, and she would like give me my inhaler, and then I'd be like, can I stay here? And she's like, I'm not supposed to, but like whatever. So me and the health lady were like this.
Yeah.
Not the point here. I avoided class, but I did all my work, and I was a great student. Just a terrible kid. So my 5th grade teacher sits me down, and first thing she tells my dad is, your daughter's flunking math. And my father is like, the fuck you mean?
Yeah.
Asian parent coming full force now. And he's like,
she's getting a B.
No, literally, he's like, what do you mean? Like, and so she starts explaining to my dad that I'm not doing my math right. And he's like, the fuck you mean? Like, I check that shit every night.
Yeah.
She is doing her math right. Like, trying to like explain to my dad, but she's getting like very like tired of the conversation. She's like, ugh, like, and so she tells my dad like she's not doing the problems right because she's not using the strategies. And my dad's like, so she's not failing math, she's just not doing it the way you want. And they get into this whole tiff where she's basically calling me an idiot, saying that I don't understand how math works. And my dad's like, she got the problem, like,
yeah,
it's the right answer because she didn't draw out all 62 fucking flowers. You're gonna get mad at her.
Yeah,
basically, like. And they got into this whole heated argument, and she's like, I'm gonna flunk her in math if she doesn't start doing it right. And he's like, you're a fucking idiot. And he stood up and walked out of the parent teacher conference. And I didn't like my teacher, so I was just like, and I just followed. Yeah, I was just like, my daddy said what my daddy said, and we walked out of that parent teacher conference. But I feel like similarly, she did not like me for the rest of the year. In my teacher's case, it's a little valid.
There was a confrontation.
There was a confrontation with my parents, so like fair. But so she would yell at me, and every little thing I did, she would yell at me, but I was already skipping class and whatever. And I was like, listen, you can't hurt me at this point. I give zero shits at this point. I'm gonna graduate and I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But yeah. I was like, do you think you did you have the option of like switching classes at that time or no?
I have no idea. Maybe, I don't know.
Because I feel like
didn't even think about it.
Yeah, like when you're younger like that, I feel like your parents could have more of an influence saying like, hey, I want her out of that class, like put her in a different class. Yeah. And like that's when my mom and I talk about like the 2nd grade situation, she was like, truthfully, I should have just taken you out of that class. Because
I was gonna say, was that like a known option for you? Because I don't even know if it was a possibility. And if it was, I don't even know people who did switch classes. So it's not like I was seeing it happen. So I could be like, oh yeah, like that was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was an option, but in my case, we were just talking like if we had to do over again, I would have just taken you out of the class. Yeah, just because I like
it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, like the whole 2nd grade year just like completely shattered my confidence, just like as a person.
And that's such a formative year. Like we said, elementary school in general is so formative, but especially like 2nd grade, like you finally start getting some independence, doing some things. So that's
it was so sad. And like what's great, I think I was lucky in the sense that the next year, my 3rd grade teacher, he like bumped me back up to like where I needed to be. Yeah. Because he's honestly still probably my favorite teacher I've ever had. Yeah. And he was just like so lighthearted and supportive and like really just fostered a good environment for kids. And there was one time, okay, so backstory. When I was young, the way my mom kind of expressed like support and love was she would like tap me on the butt. Okay. Similar to how guys do.
I was gonna say a little football tap. Yeah. Little football butt tap.
Like, a butt tap. Yeah. Like as I'm walking up the stairs or something like that.
Sure. Right.
Right. So in my mind, I'm like, this is how I show appreciation.
Oh no. Okay. Not a high five, but a butt five is the way we show appreciation. Yeah. Okay.
So there was one time.
Oh no.
Where we had like a recess or something like that, where we had a certain amount of time outside, and basically he would just run around and have all the kids chase him because he was like really tall too, so it's like none of us could chase him. Right. So it was just like to keep us entertained and like get our energy out.
Dude, that's above and beyond. My teachers during recess, they were just yard duty. They just stood there, which fair. It's hot as fuck. And you know, if I was a teacher, I would also just want some me time away from the screaming. Like I get it. I get it now. But did not have a teacher like that.
Yeah. So we were like running outside, having a great time, and then it was time to go back into class. So like the building, how it was set up is like we had to go up a flight of stairs to get to like the 3rd grade level. Sure. And when we were walking up the stairs, I like had such a fun time outside. He was like in front of me, so I just like I literally slapped his butt.
Wait, was it a high five or did you put some heft behind that?
I think I just like slapped it like with oomph. I'm like, this is my appreciation.
This is how much I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah. And I like He like didn't. I don't think he acknowledged me like that it happened when it happened.
I mean,
but he
fair,
like
be a little shooketh to his core.
yeah. But he like called my mom. And he was like, hey, so just wanted to let you know this happened. Claire like slapped me on the butt today.
Right.
And my mom's like, oh no. She's like, that's my fault.
No.
Yeah, she's like, that's my fault. That's
My B.
yeah. She's like, I'll tell her not to do that again.
So did you have to have a talk when you got home?
I probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I
We
don't
remember
it,
the talk, but
I was, my mom reminded me of that, and I was like, the tea.
She's an ass guy.
Yeah. Slap her butt.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. But it was, yeah, so it was like bad second grade. Good third grade.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad third grade followed very quickly after second grade.
yeah.
So you were only in that rut for second grade and not too long.
Mm-hmm.
We loved my high school, my English class, because it was just the whole shtick. It was a shtick. His name is Schick. Just, his class, he was one of those teachers that was just, had everyone, all of his students, and even students in like past years would just like hang out. Like his classroom was always busy, like recess, lunch, whatever. It was just full of students. Might not even be his active students, and sometimes it would just be like, if you were in his class or were in his class, you would even just like bring your friends and just like hang out in his room. He was just that type of teacher. Yeah, as a teacher, I mean, he was a hard ass. Like he asked a lot of us, especially being freshmen, but I think it was, and he says it a lot, like it was to prepare us for high school, and I think it did.
Yeah.
But he made it fun too, so we would even take on like, what's the term you've used before? Tiger kid ourselves, and like we would like even take on more, and just because it was fun, and we would just go above and beyond. Like we did some crazy projects for that class, and like when we were studying mythology, we had to like come up with our own myths. Like one of our
that's fun.
It was so fun. So you had to come up with your own myth, like with a whole deity structure, yada yada yada, write papers and everything, and then the end final project was like to make a play of it.
Did you have to act in front of everyone?
I did have to act in front of everyone.
I want to see you act for us right now.
Absolutely.
We do the whole thing right now.
Dude, I don't even. Oh my god, what did I play? I know one of my friends is gonna.
Yeah, leave it down below, guys.
Someone's gonna remember and like someone's gonna remind me, and I'm gonna feel so. I think it was the goddess of death. Yeah, but we went so above and beyond, and then my best friend, who was in my group, we turned into theater kids, like dead ass. Like I had my theater kid moment in this class because
yes.
So we got so into making our plays and stuff. Like we literally would hang out at each other's houses like every day almost to like, because we're working on this project. But yeah, we got so into it. When we were making our backdrops, my best friend who was in my group, her dad's an architect, and he literally built us like a rolling stage. So we could like roll, like we hand painted these huge like architect papers that were like 5 feet tall, like on these rolls, and he made a whole system, and then we would like, there was like 2 rolls on either side, and so it was like it was like a scroll, and we'd roll through to pan to the next thing. We got really into it. It was very fun.
Damn.
Though. Yeah,
professional set.
Very, very professional. And then it was because I was always paired with my best friend, and she's Mari. If you're listening to this, I love you. She's the most extra bitch I know. So she was always like, she was the one who was like, we can do better. Like we can do more for this. So making the backdrops, or like when we had to recreate our play for when we were doing Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet dramatizations, we turned it into a musical, and there was song and dance involved. And even my teacher was like, you didn't need to do this. I love it, but that was not.
Y'all are being a little extra.
Yeah, he's like, I think I remember him saying that he's never had students go that far above, which is saying something because we were all tiger children.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
Good.
Yeah, he was a great, very helpful teacher. So I had a few teachers, and like my calc teacher. So I've had a few teachers that just like, I think it's just in high school too. If you want to be one of those teachers that high school students like, you just have to keep it real with them and not try to like overbear.
Yeah, that's totally true. Like, I think I connected most with my teachers who were just treating us like, you need to be responsible for your own shit.
Yeah, like little adults.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So like one of my favorite teachers in high school was my senior year English teacher.
Oh, cute.
And
okay.
I think it was mostly because she was just like very matter of fact. Like she wasn't mean or short with people, but she was like, it's just how it is kind of a situation.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And on the first day of class, she showed us this video called You're Not Important.
Yes, I was going to say, you talked about her. Yes.
And I honestly, I feel like some people were like, what the fuck? Why would she show that to us? But in all reality, she was just like putting it into perspective. And
Humble
I think,
you. Yeah. Especially as a teenager, you need that humbling.
Yeah.
You need to be humbled.
And trust me, there were a lot of kids in my class who need to be humbled. Mostly because like, I think my high school experience was interesting in the fact that it was a very wide range of economic backgrounds that went to my school. So like there were loads of kids that would bus in 30-40 minutes to school.
Okay,
and there were people who would drive their daddy's cars into the lot, you know, like, so it was just
that public school education will do that to you.
Yeah. And so it was just like a great call out to be like, you're all on the same page, right?
Yeah, you're all here. So like, don't be don't be acting a fool.
Yeah. Like, and like also to kind of, I think one of the main points of the video was like, oh, you might be valedictorian of this school, but guess how many high schools are in our district? Guess how many high schools are in the nation? Guess how many valedictorians there are? Like, you're not that special. And it wasn't to like necessarily discourage us from like meeting our goals, but yeah, just mostly to humble and like bring us down to reality. Yeah, she was great. Love her.
That's amazing.
Forever love her.
I feel like that should be played regularly for people. Like, national announcement every once in a while to humble
Instead
bitches.
Of Pledge of Allegiance, just so that you're not special.
Okay, can we go to Pledge of, like, we're gonna take a detour on like teachers. The fucking Pledge of Allegiance, I don't understand. I always thought it was really culty.
It is.
Like,
it is in fact culty. And like what my boyfriend says about like teaching is that he's like, the first time I started teaching, I was taken aback because like being on the other side of it, like not being a student doing it, it's like you're facing the whole sea of students doing it. But yeah, I do agree that it's like a very culty thing.
Yeah. So growing up in Hawaii, like to counteract that, we would do the Pledge of Allegiance. Our morning routines were really long because we do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then because we're like, we got to add a little bit of spice, can't have the colonizers take everything, we would do Hawaii Pono'i, which is the Hawaiian national anthem.
Okay.
So we would do English and then do it in Hawaiian.
That's fun though.
Yeah, like I always love doing that, especially because like it's a chant, so you'd have to like, well,
from your gut.
Yeah, like to do it right, pull it from your gut.
Yeah.
But being a little kid, it was just fun to be like, oh. Like try to just, you make kind of fun of it with your friends and like try to deep as possible.
Hello. If you're hearing this, that means we have found a break in our trains of thought. I know, kind of crazy, like our podcast isn't chaotic or something like that. Anyway, this week we have a sponsor for this episode, and our sponsor is Newsly. And you're probably wondering, what is Newsly? Well, Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web on topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. So you can stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topic as specific as you'd want, from sports to business to Bitcoin or even the Kardashians. And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. Our podcast, The Midnight Memo, will be there too. Make sure to check them out. Download and use Newsly for free now from www.newsly.me or from the link we have down in our description. You can also use the promo code TMM for 1 month of free premium subscription. That is right. So make sure to go check us out on the Newsly app. You will not regret it. And now back to the podcast. Did you have any other notable good or bad teachers throughout high school?
In high school, he was the math teacher essentially, and he would always get really into like holidays and stuff. So, and he had his classroom in the portables, so like just basically trailer parks of the campus. And he would, because it was so freaking hot all the time, he would always be blasting the AC. All the windows and doors are closed to try to keep in the cold. Yeah. But because it was so dark, he would be able to do like these themes. So like for Christmas, it was always like a fireplace burning on the projector, and he would hang up twinkly lights. So it's like Christmas.
Oh, nice.
He would really go all out for holidays. So that was always fun. And he was my last class of the day too. So it was like very, very fun. Nice. And I don't know if he did it for all of his classes, but at least for when I had him for calculus, we had these, they were called Rock Awards. It was basically, it's like what is the thing that you do like for yearbook where it's like most likely to do this and most like and what's the word for that?
I just had it before you said it. Senior, no. I don't know.
but those types of you know those things. So he would do awards like that, and he got little stickers that he printed out whatever the award was, and then put the sticker label on top of literal rocks. So I have 2 rocks. That's it.
Yeah.
But he did that, and in general just was one of those teachers that would like make a game of everything. So he made math fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Love that.
What about you? Any other prominent teachers?
Honestly, now that I've been thinking about it, there have been a lot, like both good and
bad.
bad.
I've had a handful of them.
Yeah. So like you, I think it was my junior year math.
Okay.
My math teacher was like, he was awesome. His name was Mr. Pillsbury, and so he literally had like those. What would usually have a bunch of just twinkly lights, but with Pillsbury Doughboys all over his class.
That's iconic as hell.
He was super funny as well.
I love that.
And so he was just like doing comedy the whole time he was teaching us math.
Yeah.
But like I was having a really hard time in his class that year. Mostly, I don't even know if it was like the timing or what happened, but like I would always fall asleep in his class. And it wasn't like, oh, because I like know everything already. Like, no, I don't know what was going on with my
just
teenage
something
body.
clicks. Yeah. I had the same thing.
Yeah, where I would just all of a sudden just like fall asleep in his class. And so because I was always falling asleep, I like started to kind of like fall behind in the class.
Yeah.
And he was so nice. Like he would show up I want to say like every other day whenever we had the class. He would show up like 30 minutes before school started and like tutor me Like,
so wait, did he instigate this? Like, hey, if you need extra help, I'll come into school early if you want to, or did you like ask him for the help?
I think I asked. I think because my mom was like, hey, like you usually like she's not on me about my grades at all, but she was like, you usually do better in class. Like, just want to know if there's something going on. Yeah. Like, not that I was getting like terrible grades, but it was just like starting to fall in. It was
noticeable.
Yeah. And so he was like, yeah, like we can come early in the morning and like we can do a 30-minute tutoring session before school starts, you know, so that's that awesome. Like you can catch up. And I was like,
those are the teachers that make it worth it too, dude. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's my math teacher that I was talking about for calculus was like that too. Yeah. Like he'd finish the classes and then he'd also like basically spend his lunch and recess like in his class, and he's like, it's just open office hours, like come in if you need help. And then even after class I think he would have like 2 hours that he would stay back and just be like, whoever needs help, or like if everyone's here you can all help each other, and like, you know, I obviously can't help every single one of you. I would do my best, stay back if you need help, but you know, if we get enough people here you can help each other, and then that also helps you learn. So he really fostered that type of community of like, let's all learn math and have fun with it. He was definitely that type of teacher.
That's good. Yeah. We love those types of teachers.
We love those types of teachers.
Now there was this AP history teacher.
Bro, my history teachers were terrible too.
So bad.
It must be the subject.
Probably.
We both had good math teachers. History teachers were not great.
History is so fascinating. Like, I'm still so fascinated by everything that's happened in our history. However, I don't know what it is about
learning
the teaching structure
or something.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like, memorize all these 5,000 dates. Yeah. And if you don't get the date right, then you don't know anything. Like, I don't know.
I think it is somehow the way it's structured in like a classroom setting that is just not.
Yeah.
Not fun. Kills the vibes.
And the fact that like in high school they would try to make you read 200 pages a night for like,
dude, yeah.
Like, the text is minuscule. Do you actually think I'm gonna remember what they said on page 39, line 20? Like, no.
Yep.
I don't know. But I was that class I was flunking, and everyone was. That's the thing. So I'm like,
did you gamify it too?
No. I left. I was like, peace out, bitch.
We
like,
gamified it.
Yeah. Like, I should have done that. But one thing is like, if all your students are failing, all of them, there's no standout, whatever. Yeah. There's no half and half. If all of your students are failing, that's something you are doing.
Yeah, you're failing as a teacher.
Exactly. And so everyone was failing. And so I was like, at this point, I still have the opportunity just to go into regular world history.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what, whatever. And in high school, I really tried not to take any AP classes because I was like, what does it prove? And so I like went up to my teacher and I was like, yeah, I need to transfer out of the class. And she's like, why? You're doing so good. I was like, look at me in my eye.
You lie.
You look at me in my eye and tell me I'm doing good in this class.
And then she was like, never mind. So
literally. Like, peace out, bitch.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She just wanted another victim.
Probably. And I think it ties back to like, it was her first year as a teacher. And so she went like ham, like either trying to prove herself to the rest of the staff or like prove herself as a teacher. Yeah, something like that. But I was like, girl, bye.
No.
But
yeah. My AP history teacher was also like chronically known for being a hard ass.
Yeah.
And she was, just not great all around. But we wanted, like I've said before, my friends in high school were all fucking nerds. We just too proud and we all stayed with it.
Good. I was like, what's pride? I'm quitting.
No. Dude. Yeah, that's fair.
I digress. There are a few more.
Yeah. There are. I think, now that we think about it, I had a pretty good amount of teachers. But I feel like usually when you talk about teachers, the first ones you bring up are always the worst ones when you like rehash.
Which is so unfortunate.
It's so unfortunate. Yeah. It's like, teachers are very underappreciated.
They are. And we support all the teachers out there.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
As long as you're doing it for the right reasons and you're not mean to your students.
Yeah. I really was like, do we have enough stories about teachers to make an episode? And I guess we did.
We both had bad math teachers when we were in elementary school.
We did.
I slapped my 3rd grade teacher on the butt.
Yeah. My dad cussed out my 5th grade teacher because she was threatened to flunk me in math.
Kristen went through her musical theater phase.
I had my theater kid phase, I guess, in high school without even realizing I did.
Yeah. We're going to be extras in a TV show or movie.
Fuck yeah.
Synopsis for this week's episode.
Basically. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of the Midnight Memo, talking about teachers and our school and things. Insert Claire synopsis again. Don't forget to like and follow the podcast so you can be notified when our next episode drops next Tuesday, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can be notified when our video podcast drops on Wednesdays.
All of our social medias will be on the screen. If you want to leave us a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you totally should, because it would super help us out.
And don't forget to use our link for the Newsly app that will be down in the description so you can get 1 month of free premium subscription.
Yes.
Good.
That is it. All right. Well,
bye.